for life. My kids would be set for life. But I cannot do that because with every fiber of my being, I believe that socialism is the only way forward for humanity. It is moral. It is just. At this point, it's just common sense. We have the data. We just have a lot of work to do deprogramming ourselves from a century of Red Scare propaganda.
Sorry about that.
I hope that maybe some of this video has resonated with you and that you'll start asking questions about socialism yourself.
I think I hit the button by accident. I put a hotkey on my keyboard.
All sorts of topics. We can do this. We can build the world we deserve. You should be a socialist.
I'm sorry, guys.
I mentioned at
the beginning
let's
go
of
on
this
to
video
the next video. Check out JT. Check out what the fuck is that? Check out JT. Check out Social. Second Thought. He's a great creator. Now we're gonna look at this video. I hope we can find it. Tucker Carlson. Debate. Swedish economist. Here it is. This is really crazy, guys. Tucker Carlson. This never really blew up online. I don't know why. But basically, Fox News, Tucker Carlson had on this guy, Rutger Bregman. Basically, they debated about taxes on the rich and stuff. And Fox News never aired the video. They never aired the video because of how bad Tucker Carlson looked in this video. It's crazy. And more people need to see this shit. Oh my god, Matt Walsh. This guy's a weirdo, man. Don't watch him, please. Please don't watch him. We'll talk about him one day.
You jumped the bandwagon. You're all like, oh, I'm against the globalist elite, blah, blah, blah. It's not very convincing, to be honest.
Why don't you go yourself, you tiny brain, and I hope this...
Tucker Carlson is mad. He's like, why don't you go F yourself, you tiny brain idiot.
To be honest.
Why don't you go yourself, you tiny brain, and I hope this gets picked up. Because you're a moron. I tried to give you a hearing, but you were too annoying for me.
You can't handle the criticism, can you?
We gotta be talking about taxes. That's it. Taxes, taxes, taxes. All the rest.
So this dude is a Dutch historian. My bad. He's not Swedish. He's a Dutch historian.
In my opinion.
I mean, it feels like I'm at a firefighters conference, and no one's allowed to...
he looks like PewDiePie. That's why I said he was Swedish.
Maybe the great moment in Davos history. Rutger Bregman is the author of Utopia.
He looks like PewDiePie though. That's why I said he's Swedish.
Now, Mr. Bregman, I can't stop laughing just listening to that. And part of that makes me wonder, are you the first person ever to note that people are flying private to talk about
Sorry guys.
warming, and that none of them mention taxes?
Hitting some hard shit.
Said that before at Davos that you know of?
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on Davos history, but it is a bit hypocritical, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yes, it is. And others have noted that. We've noted it on this show. We've just never gone to Davos and said it out loud as you did. So if I was wearing a hat, I would take it off to you. What response did you
Let me put the volume up on the video so you guys can hear it better.
Happy with me, but I'm just I think a random Dutch historian who's basically saying whatever around the globe is thinking. You know, the vast majority of Americans, for years and years now, according to the polls, including Fox News viewers and including Republicans, are in favor of higher taxes on the rich. You know, higher inheritance taxes, higher top marginal tax rates.
Yeah. A lot of Republican viewers are all for this stuff. They're all for higher taxes on the rich, higher marginal taxes, higher inheritance taxes. But when they watch Fox News, they don't talk about that. They don't talk about taxes on the rich or marginal or inheritance taxes. They don't talk about any of that stuff. All they do is redirect those people's anger at the left or LGBT people or, you know, trans people. Or, those fucking dressing parties, I forgot, drag shows. That's all they do. They just redirect these people's anger.
higher wealth taxes. It's all really mainstream. But no one's saying that at Davos, just as no one's saying it on Fox News, right? And I think the explanation for that is quite simple, is that most of the people in Davos, but also here on this channel, have been bought by the billionaire class. You know, you're not meant to say these things.
They've been paid for.
So I just went there and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to say it, just as I'm saying it right here on this channel.
Well, what was interesting, I thought, about what you said was you noted something. I mean, many people have called for higher taxes, but very few.
Well, not on this channel, is it? I mean, almost all of the pundits on this channel for years have been against higher taxes, right? Even though the vast majority of Americans is in favor of it.
I mean, I don't know. It would be interesting to know how many hours of Fox you've watched, but I'm interested in what you said about tax avoidance. So, I mean, just because someone faces a specific tax rate does not mean that person pays that tax rate at all. I don't think Netflix, for example, paid any taxes last year at all.
For example, back in the day, I don't know how far back, I can look it up quickly, but back in the day, the tax rate, this was probably around like around World War II, World War I, maybe World War II. I'm pretty sure World War II. Anyways, the tax rate for rich people and corporations and shit, it was around 80 to 90%. And then it started dropping, 70%. And then it started dropping and dropping after every new president, every other president, slowly been paid for and bought by the corporations. And now the tax rate's like 25%. It's trash.
Specifically, to make certain that this class of people pays what they're supposed to pay?
Well, it's about multiple things. So we should really crack down on tax paradises and on tax avoidance. That's a major issue. But it's also about having higher taxes. So in the 1950s, for example, in the 1960s, in the golden age of capitalism, as historians called it, we had top marginal tax rate for the very rich of about, 70, 80, 90%, actually.
Look at that. 70, 80, 90%. I told you, see? See, I'm a dummy. I'm a dummy, guys, but I'm pretty smart at the same time. I know a lot of shit. A lot of useless information, but I have a lot of good information.
70, 80, 90% actually under Eisenhower, the Republican president. And this was also, one of the best periods in American history. Same is true for the UK and the rest of Europe. So as a historian, for me, it's all not, it's really not rocket science. We should just go back to simple and straightforward solutions from the past.
Right. Yeah. But this country was sustained, and since you're a historian, I guess you would know this, sustained by an industrial economy at the time that was broad and deep, that created a middle class. That doesn't exist anymore. So it's an entirely different
Yeah, because we outsource all of our jobs to other countries. Most of these companies outsource their jobs to China or to Mexico or to, like to all these other shitty countries, Indonesia, Vietnam, to make their products cheaper there so they don't have to pay their employees good there so that they can sell the stuff higher here and bam, you make a profit. That's the big issue.
I wish it did exist.
Oh, well, but that's not really an issue. I mean,
work the same way with an entirely different economy?
Well, I think it would. I mean, America is still pretty much the most powerful country in the world, right?
Yeah, we are.
So if it really would want to, it could easily crack down on tax paradises. But the thing is, I mean, you guys have brought into power a president that doesn't even want to show its own tax returns. I mean, who knows how many billions he has hidden in the Cayman Islands or in Bermuda. So I think the issue really is one of corruption and of people being bribed and of not being, not talking about the real issues. What the family, what the Murdochs basically want you to do is to scapegoat immigrants instead of...
Yep. What the Murdochs want Tucker Carlson to do is to scapegoat immigrants and LGBT and all these other people, all these marginalized groups.
The family, what the Murdochs basically want you to do is to scapegoat immigrants instead of talking about tax avoidance. So I'm glad you're now finally raising the issue, but that's what's been happening for the past couple of years.
And I'm taking orders from the Murdochs. Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
no.
He is. And for example, let me look real quick. I need to look this up because this is very vital information. But Tucker Carlson actually talked about the Murdochs, and he said very good things about them. Tucker Carlson talking about the Murdochs. Hopefully it's on YouTube. Maybe it's not on YouTube. Maybe Dylan Burns covered this. Did Dylan Burns not talk about this? Maybe the political thing will cover it, but Tucker Carlson basically said out loud that the Murdochs, that he sucks the Murdochs off. He'll do anything that they tell him to do. And so I'm just looking for that. Murdochs, he would do whatever they want. Maybe I could find it. Look at this. Here we go, The Intercept. Check this out, guys. There's some crazy shit. Tucker Carlson on Rupert Murdoch in 2010 radio segment, I'm 100% his bitch. So I only have, Americans white servants. Carlson said in 2009, it's not because I'm racist, it's because I'm not, it's because I feel better beating them. Tucker Carlson, who recently branded himself as a leading anti-elitist, had previously labeled himself as an out-of-the-closet elitist. See right here? He's an out-of-the-closet elitist. And separately said that he is 100% Rupert Murdoch's bitch. The two quips are part of the trove of newly unearthed recordings from 2008 to 2011 that haven't previously been reported. So Tucker Carlson admits that he is Rupert Murdoch's baby. Oh, and look at here. They have it right here. The Intercept. Tucker Carlson on being extraordinarily loaded.
No, like instead of ridiculous, religious.
Yeah, now you got me thinking about it.
No, see, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Be like Fast Food Nation was a good one. You know what I mean?
Or Supersize Me.
Yeah, Supersize Me. That's a great one. I totally agree with that. Was Fast Food Nation
Crucify Me. That would have worked.
How about God Sucks?
That works too.
Religious. Yeah, I don't know.
Religious.
I mean, beating up on religious people is too easy. I mean, come on.
No way.
Beating up on Christians, give me a break.
We're supposed to sit around and let the Christians beat up on us for years and years and years and not fight back?
That's ridiculous. I mean, the threat is from radical Muslims, and for some reason...
The threat is from radical Muslims, Tucker Carlson says. Not from extremist nationalist Christian right-wingers that are shooting up stores and stuff, shooting up malls, shooting up protests, shooting up queer story hours and shit.
Same people are always beating up on the evangelicals, are always giving the Muslims a pass.
Well, I give neither.
You never hear Bill Maher going after them.
Are you kidding me? He does a whole skits about fucking Ahmed in the bomb shop. He beats up on the Islam all the time.
Yeah, are you kidding me? Come on, Tucker.
Really? Because I'll take your word for it, because I know you probably watch more of that than I do, but every time I've been on a show or heard him, I mean, it's always, beating up on some snake handler in Kentucky is not hurting anybody.
Whatever that big new network announcement you were going to give us in a week.
It was a little loud.
Oh, about my new job?
Yeah.
I'm not getting a new job.
You
It
said
was a
I'm
little
going to
loud.
be hanging around the same old
now, hold on.
pathetic, unemployed,
Were you-
unshaven in his boxer shorts at noon kind of guy.
Were you up for one and it fell through, or were you screwed?
Oh, no, dude, who'd employ me? I just, look, I've got the perfect life right now. I just, I get up late, I go down.
How do you pay your bill?
Tucker Carlson is literally a rich kid, man. He's a Swanson heir. His parents own Swanson Family Foods. I don't know if it's the husband or the wife. One of them do. So like he's saying right here that he doesn't do anything. He's lazy. He doesn't do anything. He's rich. He just lays around on his underwear. Gets a little dress, goes to does his show, goes home.
Read the newspapers, stuff like that. Juice and Nicorette, go out to lunch.
How do you pay your bills?
Well, I'm extraordinarily loaded just from money I inherited.
I'm extraordinarily loaded from money I just inherited.
From my number of trust funds.
From the
I told
Swanson.
you this.
From the,
He's a trust
from the
fund
Swanson
baby.
deal.
Yeah, I'll go out and beat some servants. I'll wrap my Lamborghini around a tree. Go pick up a kilo or two. Just normal stuff like that.
You're just living. You're a trust fund baby, are you not?
Oh, completely. I've never needed to work. Yeah. I mean, it's all just, the whole cable news thing was just a total pose. It was like a phase I was going through. You know what I mean?
When's CBS announcing the new Tucker Carlson
Game show.
I don't know when they are. I mean, they paid me for it. It's ready to go. They
must not be testing too good.
actually tested great. That's why they made it. I mean, they make a pilot. We actually made 2 pilots.
What's it called?
Do You Trust Me?
Right.
I mean, they don't put all the money into it unless they've tested the hell out of it. I mean, they really tested. Do you guys do testing ever?
No. Fuck no. We don't need to. We're number one.
We're number one. Yeah, so he's basically a trust fund baby. He admits it on this radio show. And let's move on to this one, where he talks about Rupert Murdoch, which is a billionaire, I think. Yeah, he's a very rich guy.
Example, Sean Hannity was set to broadcast live from a Tea Party. And Rupert Murdoch the day before said, no, we don't support the Tea Party, we don't support the Republican Party, we don't support any party. And Rupert Murdoch did pull Hannity off of broadcasting live from the Tea Party.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit more complicated than that. But it was, I think it was a miscommunication. But look, I mean, you can go to the Tea Party events. I've been to a lot of Tea Party events. I spoke at a Tea Party event. And I wasn't, I'm not running as a Tea Party candidate. I'm not giving money to Tea Party people. I just, it's a great place to reach people,
Sure, but
So the Tea Party is a very right-wing extreme group. They're a very right-wing party. Okay?
what I'm saying is at that point, Rupert Murdoch didn't want Hannity broadcasting from there.
Yeah, well, something happened, no doubt about that. I don't know if was it Murdoch?
Yeah, it was because Murdoch received the question. They said, "Hey, you guys, Fox News, are part of
Murdoch's the most powerful man in America."
I mean, Rupert Murdoch, I've got to give him credit. When you talk about media conglomerates, he really knows what he's doing.
Yes.
He is smart.
He's very smart.
Really smart and tough.
You're his bitch.
Oh, that guy said you're his bitch. Let's see what Tucker says.
I'm 100% his bitch. Whatever
I'm 100% his bitch. Let's keep listening.
Mr. Murdoch says, I do.
Exactly. You know how you treat your migrant workers that shine up your Bentley and stuff? That Robert
How you treat your migrant workers that shine up your Bentley and stuff?
I could treat you that way.
Really?
Yep.
I would be honored if he would cane me the way I cane my workers.
He would be honored if Rupert Murdoch caned him like he canes, like Tucker canes his workers.
Servants. One of them this morning, there was a spot on the back. You couldn't see it, but on one of my wingtips. And whoa. Hell to pay.
He took an ass whipping for that, didn't he?
Well, first I threw my pomegranate at him. He was across the room.
Right.
And then the silver service. And I said, come here. And I kind of hobbled after him with one shoe on. I caught him finally.
Yeah. He didn't, and he let you catch him because if he would have kept running, that would have been more of an ass whooping like Kunta Kinte.
I think he enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Oh my God! They said that would have been more of an ass whooping, like Kunta Kinte, which, if you don't know, was a slave.
Anyway, Tuck, I'll talk to you next week, my friend.
You guys are the best.
Thank you so much, Tucker.
See ya.
So that is who Tucker Carlson is. Lovely guy.
Oh, I mean, it doesn't work that directly, but I mean, you've been part of the Cato Institute, right? You've been a senior fellow there for years. You've been taking their dirty money. They're fun.
Funded by coke billionaires. You've been a senior fellow there for years. You've been taking their dirty and been happening for the past couple of years.
Tucker does not want to let him
And
talk.
I'm taking orders from the Murdochs. Is that what you're saying?
No, I mean it doesn't work that directly. But I mean, you've been part of the Cato Institute, right? You've been a senior fellow there for years.
The Cato Institute, super corrupt. I think it's a think tank. I think so. But it's a super corrupt right-wing think tank.
Years. You've been taking their dirty money. They're funded by coke billionaires, you know.
Wait, why don't you tell me how it does work?
Well,
so if you don't know who the Koch brothers are, he said Koch billionaires. The Koch brothers are a rich family, and Murdoch, I guess, takes money from them.
Coke, you've been taking their dirty money. They're funded by coke billionaires, you know.
Wait, why don't you tell me how it does work?
Well, it works by you taking their dirty money. It's as easy as that. I mean, you are a millionaire funded by billionaires.
Yeah. Tucker's a millionaire funded by billionaires. The only reason why he's rich is because another rich guy gave him a lot of money to spout out fake information. And I guess the saddest existence in the entire universe. Besides his parents being wealthy from the whole business.
That's what you are. And I'm glad you now finally jumped the bandwagon, you know, of people like Bernie Sanders and AOC. Yep. But you're not part of the solution, Mr. Carlson. You're part of the problem, actually.
AOC, wait, but can I just say, and
it's true, right? It's true, right? That all the anchors.
Tucker
all the
can't even
anchors
talk.
on Fox.
He's stunned.
They're all millionaires. How is this possible? Well, it's very easy. You're just not talking about certain things.
Fox doesn't even play where you are.
It doesn't play where you are? Well, have you heard of the internet? I can watch things whatever I want, you know? I have, actually. I can't say I'm a great fan of your show, but I do my homework when you invite me on your show. So, I mean, you're probably not going to air this, but I went to Davos to speak truth to power, and I'm doing exactly the same thing right now. You might not like it, but you're a millionaire funded by billionaires, and that's the reason why you're not talking about these issues.
Tucker Carlson's just fake.
Yeah, only now. Come on, you jumped the bandwagon. You're all like, oh, I'm against the globalist elite, blah, blah, blah. It's not very convincing.
Yeah. When the right wing says globalist, they really mean Jews. That's literally all they... Let's bring out Kanye again. Hey, where's Kanye at? Kanye, what was that about, Nazis?
There's a lot of things that I love about Hitler. A lot of things.
Why? They're terrible, dude. It would, like, literally enslave you and have you build their bunkers and, like, you know, use you as, like, cannon fodder. Why would you do that?
They have terrible seats.
Oh, because they have terrible seats. God, I see. That was the wrong one, anyways. I don't get why he would do that.
Money.
Money. Oh, that's Elon. That's Elon Ma. That's the wrong one.
But they did good things too. We're gonna stop dissing the Nazis all the time.
Oh, there it is. We gotta stop. They did good things. Like what? What did they do, Kanye?
But they did good things too. We're gonna stop dissing the Nazis all the time.
I don't know what he's talking about, guys.
To be honest,
I don't get it.
Go yourself, you tiny brain, and I hope this gets picked up because you're a moron. I tried to give you a hearing, but you were too annoying for me. Because you're a moron. I tried to give you a hearing, but you were too annoying for me.
You can't handle the criticism, can you?
There's a war on alternative media. There's a war where they're trying to...
Look at that stupid face he has, bro. He looks like an idiot. He looks like he's trying to take a shit. He's like really concentrating. You know?
Political expression. There's a war where they're trying to criminalize free speech.
Rutger Bregman tweeted about the unaired interview. Why didn't you air the interview with me last night? Couldn't handle criticism? I think you should just show it. Yep. True. And try to resist the temptation to edit. I've recorded the full thing, including that moment when you start swearing profusely. Tucker is someone who appreciates many points of view. Sadly, the guest turned an opportunity to have a substantive, informative discussion. That's bullshit. Into an obvious, calculated, personal insult campaign. We were disappointed in the segment and respect an audience time too much to consider airing it. That's bullcrap, man. Because Tucker even admitted to liking the Murdochs, remember? So, they're just liars. They're liars. Alright. Let's listen to some more news and some more news. Let's get to some more news with some more news. Scuff we missed. Yeah, they just released a new one. Scuff we missed.
No more tweaking synths or getting lost in a bunch of settings. With Soundtrap, it's one glide knob.
Soundtrap offers a wide range of 808 sounds.
Aruba, Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take you. Minnesota is nice, and we're gonna have a shoot. Hey, hi, hello. Shoot my.
Hi, Cody.
My butt. I totally forgot we were doing an episode. I set up the camera, turned on the lights, and then just poof, blanked. That's my bad. Listen, hey, hi, hello, hey.
Hi, buddy.
I'm gonna level with you. I was just packing for the holiday break. I'm heading.
Let me make sure it's not too loud. I'm sorry, guys. It might be a little too loud.
To sunny St. Cloud, Minnesota, which I'm just assuming
there we
by
go.
the name
That's
is
probably
really
better.
tropical and heavenly. But I guess we can do one more episode before I go. Man, you know when you have a lot of stuff to do and it just keeps building and building and building until your eye feels like it's gonna pop shit, you know, everywhere. It's okay. It's not your fault. I'm just stressed out. In fact, I got an idea. Just now, it's not a pre-planned idea, but it's where I go over some news stories from the year that we've missed.
Yay!
I don't know if you know this, but a lot of stuff happens, and for that reason, it's really hard to keep track of all of the
More
stuff that happens. And
news.
so we don't always have the time to cover the aforementioned stuff that happens. So, in the interest of wrapping
love
up the year
news.
like a holiday gift, then we're gonna get the hell out of here and sip mimosas on the sandy shores of St. Cloud, Minnesota. I am gonna blast us through a nice regular episode, all right? A real missionary position news sexing. No bells, no whistles, just me, you, and words from my mouth. Then I'm gonna jet. Okay, so here is some news.
Hey, Doc.
I want some Jet. I wish I could have some Jet. I want to play some Fallout, by the way. I want to play modded Fallout. I want to mod the shit out of it. Soon. Very
Dick,
soon.
I created a device that talks to ghosts.
Right, I should have known. Katie, hi, hello. Listen, I have a flight in a few hours, so...
Why are you dressed like a Trader Joe's manager? Don't answer. I won't listen. Listen, Beardo, I just talked to HQ, and it turns out that we haven't met our random bullshit quota, or RBQ, for this year, and that puts our contract in total jeopardy.
HQ?
Hell Queen. She's my dealer. Anyway, since it's the holidays, I figured we could do like a Christmas special or something like that. Don't we usually do like a Star Wars during this time? What about, Avatar, huh? An Avatar thing? People like Avatar. You can do some Navi news.
I disagree about Avatar. Listen, this has been a very busy year for us, so I was kind of hoping to take it easy and recharge to come strong into 2023.
Well, Hell Queen doesn't pay you to take it easy. In fact, I'm going to start by making it more festive over there. I put a little surprise in your vents when you were getting your floorboards reinstalled, and...
What? What is this? What did you just do?
Oh, whoops! That was supposed to be snow.
Smells like ammonia.
Yeah, I see the problem now. I accidentally pressed the fear gas button. Okay. Oh, whoops! More fear gas. Damn these Butterfingers. Guess I shouldn't have done all that fear gas earlier.
Unwrapping 2022. News we missed. Oh, God. Oh, terrible God.
Man, Cody needs the sponsorship from what's that one hair product? Fucking Keeps. Cody needs that Keeps.
How long was I out? I missed my flight. I can't feel my feet. Great. Okay, well, now I'm fear gassed and I still have to read the news. Okay, well, at least the hard part is over. We did some bullshit. We met our quota or whatever. So it's time for news. And just for, I don't know, let's call it fun, we're gonna see how many stories we can cover in a short amount of time. Are you ready? Yeah, you're ready. Okay, here is some. Ooh, Cody, it's me. In life, I was your partner, but now I wear the chain I forged in life as a ghost. No, not doing a Christmas Carol.
His
Everyone
partner.
does a Christmas Carol. What's a Christmas Carol? I'm here tonight to warn you that you have yet a chance and hope of escaping my fate. You will be visited by 3 spirits. The first one, boop, passive resistance. Okay, same plan as before. Let's start with international news. Put up a graphic, nothing holiday related. In fact, make it nothing anything related. International news. Thank you. Maybe we can cover some news before the ghost of Christmas past inevitably shows up. Presumably played by some alternate version of me. F***ing unbelievable. Now, one of the things we completely skipped over here at the show is that it's me, the ghost of Christmas past. Rise and walk with me, for I am to guide you through the shadows of things that have been.
I love how they lay out their videos. Like, I love the little like skits they do, the little sketches and stuff. They're dope.
Now forgotten, and so on. F***ing unbelievable. Okay, hi, listen. I'll be there in just a second, so why don't you go on ahead? That sounds like a trick. No, man. It's not a trick. I'm really excited to go with you. I just gotta make a few phone calls, and then I'll meet you outside. I'll meet you outside. Enjoy your phone calls, and so on. Idiot. Wow, we haven't even begun the show. Okay, let's see. Stuff we haven't covered. Oh, right. The Queen of England died. Everyone made a big thing of it, despite her being 96. She was 96. That's what old people do. They die. Maybe don't close your supermarkets over it. Or do. I don't know. I'm not British. Sorry about your elderly team mascot if you're British. Okay. That about covers the
Yeah, like in the UK, when the Queen died, they literally shut hospitals down and fucking like, you know, important like necessities to society and shit. It's like, what? What are you guys doing, bro? She's just an old lady. She was like 93. That's what happens when you're old. You die.
Queen section of this. Hey, you know what does seem like a big deal death-wise? That a former prime minister of Japan was shot and killed back in July. And while there's absolutely no way I'm going to fully cover this event or the victim Shinzo Abe, it is pretty buck wild how that story just soared right past us, especially when you consider the motivation of the assassin. You see, the shooter had constructed a homemade firearm like a little modern John Malkovich. It's a reference, look it up. The firearm was then...
John Malkovich. John Malkovich. Okay. Like a little John Malkovich. I don't get the reference. I mean, is it just this guy?
And tested near a Unification Church facility because the assassin, it turns out, was originally targeting high-ranking members of this church. He changed his target to Abe because he found him to be more accessible and because Shinzo Abe had spoken at unification-related events. Members of the Unification Church, also known as Moonies, tend to dump their life savings into the church, or rather, it's a cult? Right? And this was the case with the assassin's mother, who had given over $700,000 to the cult and drove her family into poverty.
So the reason why that guy killed Shinzo Abe was because Shinzo Abe supported a cult that basically had that young kid's mother lose all their money to that cult. Fuck Shinzo Abe, but yeah, don't do violence, guys.
And sorry to all my Mooney fans, but it really seems like a cult. As in, it was created in the 50s, and the founder believed he was handpicked by Jesus Christ. They've been
of course
known to scan obituaries and then ask for money from grieving families to elevate their loved ones' spirits, like Selena Meyer's campaign, another reference to look up. There's probably a whole video on this that we could do, because while Shinzo Abe certainly didn't deserve to be murdered for his involvement in this organization,
yeah, he didn't deserve that. But he was not a good guy.
Under any circumstances, we never really talk about how many powerful political figures are tied to the Moonies, thanks to the wild amount of money they have, you know, from scamming people. Mooney events have netted such high-profile speakers as George H.W. Bush, Gerald Ford, Bill Cosby, and Mikhail Gorbachev. Also, this guy.
I want to thank the Universal Peace Federation.
Donald Trump.
In particular, Dr. Hawk Jahan Moon, a tremendous person.
Donald Trump.
Incredible work on behalf of peace all over the world.
Is he on Pandora? Hey, an Avatar joke! This concludes me acknowledging that film ever again. Anyway, of course Trump did a Mooney event, and it's a good pivot to the fact that one former Mooney who devoted his life to deprogramming cult members has written a book specifically about the cultism of MAGA fans. And while Japan is now taking the Unification Church a bit more seriously now that this assassination happened, perhaps we need to think about other organizations that feed off of vulnerable people and what kind of breaking point those groups will inspire. Not just MAGA, but prosperity theology, televangelism, Scientology, or really any donation-based organization that is heavily tied to elaborate and scamming lore. It's hard to make fun of people putting crumpets on the Queen's grave or whatever, when here in the States, people are dumping their life savings into a racist wall promised by a hotel manager and his drippy henchmen. And it really feels like this assassin and his bitterness is a taste of things to come for a lot of downtrodden people led astray by grifters. So yeah, can't really mock the UK for obsessing over their queen. Instead, let's mock them over having 5 different prime ministers in the last 6 years. Liz Truss is, of course, the most notable and recent, having lasted only 44 days in the position. She was replaced with Rishi Sunak, the 5th Tory in a row. Tories are the Conservative Party over there, I'm told by this blank paper. They've been in power for about 12 years, and while I'm not about to break down all the troubles across the pond in this video, from what I can tell, the woes of this party can be traced all the way back to 2016, when some plonkers, I won't say who, but some plonkers thought it was a good idea for England
Alrighty,
to
sorry,
leave
I had
the
to fix the
European
titles
Union.
because I ended the
It was a
stream
campaign led by lies and
by
racism
accident
that
earlier.
nonetheless succeeded, or rather succeeded because of the lies and racism. And after the UK carried out Brexit, it became clear there was no plan in place to ease that transition. It was a disaster. Even when taking COVID into account, by one study, Brexit significantly skull-f***ed the UK's economy. A real cock-up, as they say. A massive wad budger.
I love using
and
the
according to
modern
one
I love
senior
using
economist,
the
it is the
panels
reason
to
for the current
always
spending cuts
optimize
and tax
how my
increases
user
happening
interface is
there.
being laid
Shut
out.
up,
On
shut
top of
up,
that,
shut
the
up.
British pound, which I hear is their money, tanked even more after Liz Truss's brilliant plan to cut taxes for corporations and the wealthy. That was her plan, no shit, to get the UK out of their slump. And oopsie upon poopsie, turns out that doesn't work. Turns out that conservative nationalism and obsession with rewarding the super rich doesn't actually help the economy, and we should remind all the silly sods supporting Brexit that their good ideas are actually bad ideas. Here's one of those silly sods, for example. So I guess...
Oh my God, Ben Shapiro.
Bad ideas.
Never listen to Ben Shapiro. He and a few others are wrong about everything, man.
Those silly sods, for example. So I guess what I'm wondering here is how long we're going to let conservatives make dipshit decisions that always go wrong before we finally realize that they make dipshit decisions that always go wrong. Do we have a timetable on that one? Holy smokes, we have to do ads already, and I'm not even done with international news. Maybe if I break my own arm, I can get out of here early, actually. I'm gonna try that. But if I don't break my arm, do know that there's gonna be some good international news to cover after the ads, so don't go anywhere unless I successfully break my arm. Well, hey there. You know, the New Year's coming up, and ever since I choked on that Lego, I've decided that my New Year's resolution is to swallow fewer shapes. For example, the capsule shapes that a lot of vitamins come in.
I love swallowing shapes. That sounds wrong.
That's why I'm going to tell you about AG1 by Athletic Greens. AG1 allows
I love
you to
vitamins,
skip the
guys.
pesky vitamin pills and get your daily nutrition in one shapeless drink. Shapes are the enemy, after all. Did you know that Satan has a shape?
Yes, he does. Satan's shape is very horny. Ba-dum-ba.
Bazinga! That is good. No shapes there. It's like drinking a ghost. Just one tasty scoop of AG1 contains 75 vitamins, minerals, and whole food sourced ingredients. It's keto and vegan and paleo and only has 1 gram of sugar. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you an immune-supporting free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase if you visit athleticgreens.com/more-news today. Again, simply visit athleticgreens.com/more-news today to take control of your health and give AG1 a try today. It could even help you get into shape? Oh no. Oh dear God, no!
Wow.
Hi! Look at us, we're back.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of do want to try Athletic Greens. That's something that I do want to try, and maybe Keeps. You know, I don't want to become Johnny over here.
Smashed my arm, but I kept stopping at the last second and bursting into tears. You know how it is. Work stuff, am I right? Also, someone's been knocking on my door during the break. I think that Christmas past guy can't figure out how to get into my house. I'm not gonna let him in. So, that's at least some good news.
Yeah, don't let that guy in, man.
Here's some more good news, specifically good international news. Canada banned conversion therapy, joining over a dozen other nations. Maybe that's something we...
That's awesome. I think... I don't understand why that's even allowed. That's literally torture. Like, why is conversion therapy allowed anywhere in the world? You know what I mean? Like, that's against... That should be, like, immediately against humanitarian rights, you know?
We should look into here. Maybe it's really effed in the ear that we Yanks still haven't banned that. Do Canadians call us Yanks? Or do they have like another word for us? Gun hosers. Maple slag.
Yankee.
Healthcare. Not havers. I'm honestly not sure what else to say here. It's important to mention this particular good news because it's an example of progress happening around the world.
True.
A ray of sunshine cutting through the cracked septic tank that is America.
That's true.
I am in a mood today. Similar good news. Luis Inacio Lula da
Woo!
Silva
Yeah,
was elected in
my
Brazil,
boy.
literally beating the pants off of his opponent. Lula.
Bro, this guy, Lula da Silva, he literally got arrested. He got falsely arrested in Brazil for fake corruption charges by the previous president Bolsonaro, and like now he's elected again, and they dropped the charges. You know, everyone's like they threw away that fucking Bolsonaro guy. That dude's I don't know. Let me hold my language. Let me just say that.
Former metal worker and union leader who can be credited with lifting roughly 19 million people from poverty.
Yeah, he literally dropped the poverty rate in Brazil by like incredible amounts. Like he also brought up the indigenous populations in Brazil. You know, the tribes and shit. He helped them out so much.
His leftist policies got Brazil off of the UN World Hunger Map, and he was considered one of the most popular Brazilian presidents. He did this with the Bolsa Familia program that basically paid low-income families a monthly amount based on how many kids they had.
Yep, that's great.
Weird how giving poor people money solves poverty like that. It's almost like creating welfare programs elevates a country as a...
What? Really? Giving people money helps them? What?
Opposed to massive tax cuts for the rich. But specific to everyone, Lula also gives a shit about stopping deforestation. Something he ran hard on this time around.
I'm very eco-friendly. I care about the environment a lot.
Amazon rainforest, and it's like super important for the Earth's survival. And that rainforest is in Brazil, the place where Lula was elected. So it's kind of sort of extremely good that he says he actually cares about preserving that whole rainforest dilly. Of course, he now has to like actually do stuff about that.
Yeah, hopefully he gets some stuff done.
Anyone who has done stuff can tell you, doing stuff is hard. Speaking of, there's just so much to cover.
Because even if he wants to help the rainforest and shit, he still needs to get the Congress in Brazil and all the other corrupt fucking politicians to help to actually go along with his plans. You know what I mean?
Who knew the world would have so much news? I didn't even mention everything happening in Iran. The civil unrest due to the police murder of Gina Mahsa Amini for not wearing a proper hijab, and how it spawned even more horrendous police murder. Not sure what to say about it, at least in such a short amount of time, other than maybe don't f with women and young people in general when it
don't fuck with young people. We will mess you up.
Comes to their rights to...
We will destroy you. We will burn down society if you mess with us. That's what I'm saying. Like, just legalize gay marriage, legalize trans, you know, shit, legalize. Just leave them alone. You know what I mean? Like, stop fucking with black people. Stop, like, get rid of cops. You know, have social workers instead of fucking cops, because I don't like cops.
Control their own bodies.
Fucking dirtbags.
Seems like an evergreen statement that can apply to a lot of things. As of writing this episode, there's been confusion over whether Iran is going to disband the morality police that carried out the murder. Also, the government just officially executed their first protester. Wow, what did they even do to deserve that?
Iran state media says a man arrested for participating in recent anti-government protests has been executed. He was accused of blocking a street in Iran and injuring a member of the security forces with a knife.
You heard that correctly. Mohsen Shakari was executed, as in murdered by his government, for the charges of rioting and wounding a member of their parents.
See, like, is it fair to kill somebody just for, like, pulling a knife out or whatever, or maybe just stabbing like a security force person? Because imagine like if the U.S. government, right, was imagine if there were like SWAT and shit, like just beating the shit out of protesters, right? And then there was a few protesters that maybe like hurt a SWAT member or something. Is it okay to kill that protester just because they hurt the SWAT guy for beating the shit out of everybody? You know what I mean? No, it's not okay. Like, at the very least, just give him some jail time.
Paramilitary force, and that is messed up. Seems like this isn't really a good international news situation, but as a lot of
that's really fucked up.
This effed up execution is also a big risk for the Iranian government because it will undoubtedly result in a bigger pushback. They are sending the message that any level of protest will get you killed, which in turn means that protesters have nothing to lose.
Yep.
And so while the news we are hearing is very...
Because if any little thing can get you killed, if any little sign of protest can get you killed, then what do you even have to lose anymore? At that point, everybody is marked for death. You know what I mean? Because everyone's protesting. Everybody has a family member that's protested. Everybody has everybody has sentiments that are pro pro rights. A lot of people there just want the government to change.
Bleak, and a lot more people are going to get killed before this is over. This at least speaks to a pattern of oppressive systems being uprooted by the new generation. And I think that's pretty necessary in a society that puts so much pressure on their people. It's sort of up to those people to fight back at this point, right?
Yeah,
and so
that's
as
facts.
awful as the police response to these protests are, I do have faith that progress will ultimately win. And so remember that mood I was in? Well, I'm gonna lift that mood out of hope and junk. Okay, that's international news. Done with that. I really want to get my St. Cloud on, so let's keep moving. Next up is...
Whoa! It's me!
Oh my God!
Yes,
Not
fitting.
Warmbo.
Hi, Warmbo. Could you speed this up?
I am not Wombo, Mr. Cody. Sir, silly goat. Wombo! I mean, I'm not...
Fucking
Who's
Warmbo, dude.
I've never even heard of Wombo. I am the ghost of Christmas presents. We love presents, don't we? With the big bows
Let's
and the
speed
wrapping paper,
Warmbo up a
all
bit.
stuffed with the flesh of Wombo's many blood-drained husks. I'm not Wombo. Hello. I am a
Yo, he sounds like he's on crack.
to show you how badly you have treated your employee, Wombo.
So, just to recap, you're not Warmbo. You've never heard of Warmbo. And you're here to show me how badly I've treated Warmbo, who you are claiming is my employee. Did I get all that right?
Well, okay, Mr. Cody, you see, I'm a ghost, and, you must come with me! Crawl into my house!
Poop again. Not doing this. Sorry, Warmbo.
Warmbo
Sorry,
is on
America.
crack.
I'm refusing the call. Unless that call is from sunny St. Cloud. Where were we? Oh yeah, it's the war on children.
So here's an amazing story that's been effectively buried. This week, the CDC's Advisory Committee on Immunization...
Guys, if you never listened to Tucker Carlson, he's one of those people, like I said, Ben Shapiro, Tucker Carlson, Dave Rubin, Steven Crowder, Matt Walsh, Dennis Prager, you know, there's a bunch of other ones, Jordan Peterson, there's a bunch of these guys. Don't listen to them, man. They're gonna send you down the wrong path.
...practices is expected to add the COVID-19 vax to the list of required childhood vaccines. If this happens, your children will not be able to attend school.
For example, everyone at Fox News, especially Tucker, they're always shitting on vaccines. But one thing they don't tell you is that you need a vaccine to work at Fox News. They make you get a mandatory vaccination. And meanwhile, they're all shitting on it while they're all vaccinated. So it just tells you where their priorities lie, you know?
School without taking the COVID shot.
Hey, Tuckums! Man, he's right. That story about schools having mandatory COVID shots has been buried. Probably because it isn't true. God, remember COVID and all the weird vaccine misinformation? Those were the days. Those days being now. These days. Because hey, news, COVID is still affecting tens of thousands and killing hundreds of people per day. Not to mention that long COVID is also affecting nearly 1 out of 5 American adults who previously had COVID. In fact, long COVID is going to haunt some people for literally the rest of their lives. Obviously, we are still studying it, and it's still really hard to pin down exactly what long COVID is. But we do know that getting COVID more than once increases your risk, as does being hospitalized for COVID.
That's
the most
true.
common symptom is fatigue, and of course, brain fog affects over 60% of people suffering from it.
Like, for example, my girlfriend's parents, right? Her dad works at NASA. He's a fucking engineer at NASA. And the wife, she's like a crystal mommy. So she believes in crystals and shit and magic and all this like energy stuff. And they come from a very smart background. They're very like intelligent people, but then they fall for all this stupid shit. Now they are anti-vax. And the mom, I remember one time, she likes to like make clothing, like she knits stuff and she makes outfits and stuff. Anyways, she made masks, right? And guess how these masks were made? She literally grabbed like a material that has the most holes in the entire world and made masks out of them. She made masks out of those jerseys, like a jersey, sports jersey, like when you're literally playing in the sport, you know, those with the holes. She made a mask out of that shit, man. And it was so embarrassing because my girlfriend and I, we walked into, I didn't wear that mask, but my girlfriend did. Actually, did she make me a mask? She might have made me a mask. Anyways, I didn't really wear it much. I just wore a regular blue, medical mask. And we walked in to get the vaccines, and my girlfriend had that. And I was like, oh, I was just cringing, dude.
50% of people experience memory issues.
Just cringing
Between
that
2 to 4
anybody would
million
make a
Americans are
mask
currently
like that.
out of work because of long COVID. While it's hard to get an exact number, the estimated economic loss for all of this has been trillions of dollars in the United States alone. And this year, the IMF's global estimate has surpassed $12.5 trillion. Not that the economy is the biggest concern, but it helps to put things into perspective. Because to frame this as a labor shortage and use that as the pass-fail metric would be a very bad idea. But I need to point out that this news is part of a pattern of financial ruin happening lately. NFTs and crypto crashing, lots of firings on top of this long
Fuck
COVID.
NFTs, dude. Don't get into that.
Feel like we're at a crossroads where the government either needs to supplement the growing poverty in this country and not tie healthcare to employment, or, I don't know, abandon its people and accept ruin. And it's weird that I don't know which one they'll pick. Damn, now I'm back in that mood again. It's almost like everything about America just sort of bums me out because, quite frankly, Biden hasn't done enough to address this long COVID problem. He's done some, but one could easily throw.
Yeah, that's like a big criticism we have for Biden and the left. Like, dude, you need to do more I mean, listen. I'm not for lockdowns, but they do work. Help, stop the spread, or like give people free vaccines, man. More free vaccines. Make the patents. Take away the patents and give it to every country. So like the poor countries, because what's the point of giving your population vaccines if the poor countries can't afford it and then they get sick and spread it to everyone else that has the vaccines? We're just always going to be, in trouble because of COVID. We're always going to have COVID issues now if we don't make the vaccines more reliably and available for other countries.
Fully addressing how to help all these people. And if I were someone like Tucker Carlson and made a sad little career out of attacking the evil Dems and the left, well, I would be talking about that instead of a fake story about mandatory vaccinations.
Yeah.
But whatever, you do you, Tarl. It's easier to pretend COVID is made up or a weapon or a fake weapon or whatever you feel like on any given day. Yeah, the deep state invented weekends to turn you trans. Anyway, I'm sure we covered COVID at some point this year, but it seemed time for an update since it's hype-tastic team up with monkeypox during the summer. Who doesn't love a crossover? There's a lot to say about that disease and the GOP's 80s throwback homophobia that came as a response to it. And why is it always homophobia that comes back and not like street sharks? There's also the fact that since this disease is most common in Africa, there haven't been a lot of resources spent actually trying to understand it and the long-term effects of it. Because we suck and are racist. And while it seems like this has come and gone...
what?
Because we suck and are racist. Actually trying to understand it and the long-term effects of it. Because we suck and are racist. And it common in Africa, there haven't been a lot of resources spent actually trying to understand it and the long-term effects of it. Because we suck and are racist.
Wow, so monkeypox, how it sprang out of nowhere? Basically, we haven't been researching it a lot. Most likely because it's in Africa, and yeah, we are kind of racist as a country.
And while it seems like this has come and gone in the United States, the big monkeypox story for America was that it immediately put a strain on an already strained healthcare system.
Yep.
And so to recap the monkeypox story, we have this combination of homophobia and othering, not studying the disease because we, as in general American attitudes, don't think it'll affect us, and then strain on our shoddy-ass healthcare system.
Because think about it. Monkeypox is not only is it a disease that affects the gay population more. That's already, we don't like gays already in this country. But it's also in Africa. So that's like a double negative for Americans to give a shit.
Sweet crab dick. It's almost like we haven't learned a thing from COVID. And to top it all off, this is all part of a bigger, more perfect storm brewing. Because, I don't know if you know this, but monkeypox originates from Batman's dick? I read the wrong paragraph,
Wow.
sorry. Okay, it says here it comes from monkeys. It began from a bite or a scratch, or maybe if someone mouth-kissed them. I don't know, I'm not a monkey-touching
Ew.
expert in that I only have a bachelor's in monkey-touching. But it's similar to COVID in that it's a zoonotic disease, or a disease that comes from an animal and transfers to a human.
Yep.
Animals, as you might know, live in the wilderness. Except humans, that's us, really like bulldozing that same wilderness to make room for our many red robins and parking structures.
Yeah,
this drives
that's
the animals closer to us, the humans. Do you see where I'm going with this?
We're basically
As we
fucking up
erase
the
their
planet.
habitat, we can absolutely expect even more zoonotic diseases, or failing that, bear attacks. Did someone say ghosts? Oh right, this is still happening.
Get bent, beard. It's me, your ghost of Christmas future. I'm you from the distant dystopian world of 2023. You wouldn't believe this place. Twitter is now just a single picture of Elon Musk's fully engorged penis, and all the replies are Twitter Blue users doing the laugh cry emoji and assuring Elon that they're laughing with his fully engorged penis, not at it. My legal guardians are boars. Laptops have been criminalized by Biden, and the oceans have been replaced with Louis C.K.'s dusty cum.
Are you supposed to be warning me about my sinister ways or
That's
showing
nasty.
me my own grave or something?
I don't know, man. They just said on the Slack to meet up here.
There's a Slack?
In the year 2023, all communication is done with Slack. It's a fate worse than death. Speaking of which, you need to come with me so I can show you your grave. Spoilers, it's covered in Louis C.K.'s cum, and not the dusty cum.
Okay, I don't need any of this. There's still so much more news to cover, and I can't be bogged down by every little strand of sperm that blows my way. Also, I think we have ads. Do the advertisers still like us after we've referenced cum so many times?
Are you asking me? Do I look like Captain Cum to you? A Brigadier General of Jizz? Yeah, sure, maybe. But I've yet to climb the
A Brigadier General of Jizz.
chain of cum command enough to do it.
Wow, we've barely covered any news so far. I just realized that. Okay, well, I guess we're going to cut to some non-cum ads, and then maybe
Non-cum
possibly actually
ads.
get a long stretch of news going.
Ew.
Probably not. Probably not. Anyway, watch these non-cum ads. At least, I think they're not cum related.
Hi, Katie Stoll here. Have you ever been trapped in an elevator and needed to claw your way out? Perhaps your neighbor is stealing your hair while you sleep. Well then, you might want to check out Reverend Terror's 100% all-natural fear gas.
I imagine your neighbor was stealing your hair while you were sleeping. That's creepy, eh?
How do I know it's all natural? Because the folks at Reverend Terror have recruited over 1,000 fear scientists to perfect the ultimate gas recipe. There were no survivors. Watch as I enjoy a big lungful of their brand new Winter Mint Ice Horror Bad Smell Air. That's some good bad smell air. Reverend Terror's fear gas comes in all sorts of smell genres.
Good bad
There's
smell air.
Holiday Cheer Watermelon, Ham Death, Cookie Dough, and of course, Gandhi's Skull.
What
and
the
right now,
fuck?
you can get 20% off your first
Gandhi's
order
Skull?
when you use the promo code That's reverendterror.gov
Jesus.
/fear/fear/ some more news /fear/gov fear gas.
God damn, what a
Kill your
fucking
neighbor.
link that is, eh?
Okay, we're back. And oh my sweet Christ, I've barely covered all the news we missed this year. My head is pounding. It's like I've been gassed or something. I just want to
Yeah,
get
we
through this
barely covered
leftover
any news.
so I can make
Just
my
Shinzo
point,
Abe
but I
dying and
keep
shit.
getting blasted with horse shit about ghosts and sperm.
And cum and stuff.
I'm sorry. It's not your fault. I'm just stressed, okay? So we just did a COVID update and talked about how as we get rid of forests, but hopefully not the Amazon rainforest anymore, we will see a rise in zoonotic diseases. And boy, you know what that reminds me of? This pattern of
Climate
disease
change.
caused by ruining the habitats of wildlife as we increasingly destroy the planet. It reminds me of soup attacks.
Oh, yeah, the soup attacks on the artwork. Remember that, guys?
Oh my god! Van Gogh's son.
How dare they? How dare you throw soup on a fucking painting that's protected behind layers of thick, probably bulletproof glass?
Sunflowers! Oh my god, no! No! Dear God, no!
Why in the
I'm gonna be sick! Oh my sweet Christ in heaven!
No! Please! Say it isn't so! Van Gogh's sunflowers! Somebody help us!
Oh my god.
Please! Oh god! Oh god! I'm throwing up!
I want to puke, but I can't!
Me
Fucking
as well.
Wombo.
Throwing up, I mean! Oh, what foul God hath forsaken! I'm sorry, what's that?
It's behind
He
glass.
was not harmed.
Yeah, it's behind glass, guys. It's okay. You don't need to freak out. It's behind glass. It's protected.
Well. Okay, so I guess the paintings in museums are heavily protected.
They are, yeah.
Why don't we throw stuff at art all the time then? I would visit way more museums if I could throw fried dough at a restaurant.
Let's start throwing shit at art.
It seems that people are really mad at art.
Hey, look, this is from an artist. I love art. You know, I'm a big art lover. You know, I want to go to museums, more museums. But like throwing soup at art, that's okay, especially if it's you know, for a good cause like climate change. I don't mind it.
Art right now?
Go for
Here's
it.
some mashed potatoes getting hurled at a Monet painting. Here's some black ink getting tossed on a Gustav Klimt painting. Such horrors.
It doesn't matter.
No need to look into why they're doing this. We can just be outraged about how they tarnished the sanctity of protective glass. And in other news, it appears that billions of crabs have gone missing.
Oh.
That's
scary.
I mean, sure, but still, throwing soup on art, that is
Millions of
pushy.
crabs missing?
Anyway, snow
Shit.
crabs, which represent an entire fishing industry worth hundreds of millions, but also represent, crabs, have vanished. That's bad for that one economy, for sure, but also probably bad for the crabs and for where the crabs live.
It's definitely
and maybe
bad for
other
crabs.
things related to where those crabs lived. So, where did the billions of crabs go? Were they thrown at a bunch of paintings? We should probably find them.
Just throw crabs
I
at
don't
paintings.
Like not knowing where crabs are. Anyway, if you guessed climate change was the reason for this, you are.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure with the when with the oceans warming up and the oceans becoming more acidic with all the pollution and just the way we're destroying the planet, I think crabs are definitely on the bucket list of dying off.
Of course, correct. Thanks to the melting of sea ice coupled with increasingly warming waters, snow crabs in the Bering Sea saw their habitat shrink considerably. Crab metabolism, macrabolism, also increases in warmer water, and so it's possible they starved to death. But also, the hotter temperatures allowed other predators access to the crabs that they don't normally get. It's all theories right now, but generally speaking,
Not
when you
good.
significantly change the temperature of an ecosystem, a lot of wacky sacks, goof ha ha is going to happen. For example, months of severe drought followed by
It's all theories, but all the theories are not good. It's all bad.
flooding. You see, when the land is heavily parched from drought, it becomes less able to absorb water, ironically making things very wet when the drought ends. It's like some kind of gag where Mother Nature puts shaving cream on your hand and then drowns your family.
Oh my
and
gosh.
So in places like China that saw long periods of dryness during the summer,
Yeah, there are literally like entire lakes in China that have literally dried up. Like lakes that boats would use to like travel and bring goods into China and out. They're dried up because it's so hot and like all the water's just being evaporated. I don't know what's going on. Like, it's crazy, dude.
This was followed up with
It's
horrendous
insane.
flooding. Because climate change is all about the extremes, baby! Climate with an X somewhere instead of one of the letters in climate.
Climate.
This is what also happened in Iran when an unusually dry season was swapped with fucking monsoons, causing massive flooding and death. I don't have to tell you that the disasters we saw overseas this summer that killed thousands of people were absolutely the product of climate change.
River.
According to the World Meteorological Organization, or WORMZO, as I will now call them.
Did someone say?
No, I will never summon you. Boo. Anyway, according to WORMZO,
Let's see. Rivers in China drying up. The Yangtze River. Check this out, guys. Let me see if I can find a picture of it. Look at this shit. This is the river. Look at it. Is this over time, this one? Yeah. I think this is over time. Here's the Yangtze River, right? 2020. It's muddy water, you know, but you could see it. Here's 2021. If you start looking at the edges of the river, you can start seeing it's like muddy and shit and drying up. And here's 2022. You can start seeing even more land and shit exposed. On the sides. Look over here. Look at this. This entire area here is dried up. So, like, it's crazy. Like, we're literally destroying the planet as we speak. The planet's fucking dying. It's sad.
The past 8 years are on track to be the warmest years on record. You better believe we broke all sorts of records, but not like the good ones where you eat a lot of pies or puke out the most pies.
Yeah, we've broken the
Europe
bad
is more
records.
arid than it's been in 500 years. Also, the current and ongoing drought in the southwest U.S. is the driest period in at least 1,200 years. And in Africa, floods and droughts have accelerated between 3 to 10 times more in recent times, depending on the area. In Africa, specifically, this weather is putting 22 million people at risk of starvation.
Wow.
Not that we noticed it in the States, because what needs noting here is that while we absolutely saw a drought in the US, the rest of the world has been punished far more as of recent. You combine that with how climate change will affect less developed nations the worst, and there's an obvious parallel between this and stuff like COVID and other diseases. What I mean is, we're not going to care about climate change, not on a large federal scale at least,
Yeah, we're
until
not.
it swims up and bites us on the ass.
Until it punches
which
up in
will
the
be
side of the
easy
head,
thanks to
yo.
the flooding. I know this because according to one Yale-conducted survey of people in all 50 states, only a motherfucking total of 43% of Americans think climate change will affect them personally. But
Guys, climate change is important. It's gonna fucking kill all of us. Please take it serious. Take it seriously. Take it as seriously as people took this last midterm election, yo. Don't vote for Oz.
I don't even need that survey to know that
I'm glad we got
America and
Fetterman,
parts
guys.
of
I'm
the
glad.
world will largely ignore
And
climate
Shapiro,
change.
you know.
Because another thing
And
is
Warnock.
completely ignored this summer with massive protests by climate scientists.
In the wake of a shocking new climate report that was released this week, warnings of dire consequences for humanity in it, more than 1,000 scientists protested around the world today, including a top climate scientist at NASA.
Yeah, Peter Kalamas was arrested this week for civil disobedience after chaining himself to a Chase Bank entrance in Los Angeles.
That's right. A NASA scientist was arrested because it has gotten so bad that scientists are becoming radicalized. Scientists, otherwise known as nerds. And yet these protests by scientists about the climate just came and went like any other news story. That's how f***ed we are. Because here's some news. Remember when a climate activist lit himself on fire and died?
Yeah, a climate activist literally lit himself on fire to get people to care, and nobody cares. This is the point that we're at.
In front of the Supreme Court just this year. I don't blame you if you forgot about that, because it blipped in and out of the news cycle like a freaking Hot Ones clip. It didn't stick around like that Paul Rudd Hot Ones clip. And just a few months after this, the Supreme Court would go on to rule against the EPA and limit their ability to regulate emissions.
Yeah,
After
a
man
big fuck you
lit
to the EPA.
himself on fire outside of their workplace, because the world is literally dying. I don't know, man. What do we even do with that? I guess be mad because someone threw some soup at the glass covering a dead guy's flower painting? Hey, Ghost of Christmas Future, you hearing this? You want to scold me about all the drugs I do and show me my cum grave now?
My cum grave.
Hey, I don't normally do this, but you want to, like, just talk? Get a beer?
No thanks. Let's go see my tomb. I want to see it. Show it to me.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go.
Okay, well, that concludes the Christmas Carol stuff.
He's
then,
like, I don't
right?
know about
I
that.
did it. I finished the bullshit. I met the quota for Hell Queen, who is apparently my boss. Can I fucking go now?
Cody, wake up, you stinky fool!
What?
Cody, you're awake. I fear gassed us both. It was awesome. Did you have a wild adventure while you were asleep? I dreamt that I was a giant sloth attacking a bustling metropolis where everyone looked like Phil Hartman. So unfortunately, just the same dream I always have. Anyway,
Yeah.
gonna go do some more fear gas and go see the new Avatar.
I want some fear gas.
Everyone's talking about Avatar. We should do a whole video about Avatar, don't you think? Okay, later.
Wow.
I like Katie Stoll. She's really cool.
It was all a dream.
I love their podcast too. I listen to a lot of podcasts.
You know, I guess there's some kind of lesson we can all learn from this. Not about Avatar, but I tried to cut corners today, rushing through the news to cover everything. And in the end, I guess I was a bit negative to the people around me. Because if you overexpose yourself to the news like I do, you can often lose sight of what's really important. I am a ghost! Motherfucker! We already did the ghosts. We're done with the ghosts. Cody, I am the ghost of Christmas 3 weeks from now. I'm here to tell you about the path not taken. Cody, you mustn't end the episode yet. There's still so much news you haven't covered. Just a thought, but perhaps this would have gone way faster without the constant interruptions. Anything else I need to know about 3 weeks from now? No, not much. You're gonna get a rash on your ankle, but it'll go away.
You're gonna get a rash.
Also,
That's
the
it.
oceans will be replaced with cum, and you will never guess whose. Boop. More boops. All the
Louis
boops.
C.K.'s.
Wow, okay, so I've completely lost the thread now. I guess the fear gas was real, but also my dreams have bled over into reality, or maybe the fear gas was never real. Maybe this is all a big trick, like I'm Michael Douglas in the game. Who can say? Feel like we really phoned in the Christmas Carol stuff as well. But okay, so what is the next big scary thing we didn't cover this year? Quiet quitting is sweeping the nation.
Okay, I guess that's big.
Quiet quitting? What is that, an indie band? Someone dense, please explain this to me.
And then there's a rising get paid to don't work movement, getting millions of hits on TikTok and Instagram, calling itself quiet quitting.
Quiet
the idea
quitting.
being, keep the job but don't work very hard at it and focus on getting fulfillment outside of work.
Oh, wow! A rising new trend among...
What? People not working like super hard at their job and then having fun outside of work? Why is that even called quiet quitting? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
It's the youngs, where people, enjoy life outside of work. How dreadful and dangerous.
Yeah, like...
Yeah, so it turns out there's a reason we didn't cover some stories this year.
They want you to die
because
at work.
while I could spend a moment explaining why quiet quitting isn't a thing and how we've clearly been poisoned by work culture, I don't know, I really hope you already know that. And it's very telling that people working in news and media seem the most shocked by the concept, as their entire industry has been completely destroyed and forced many of them to work long and unreasonable hours. You know what we should be talking about?
Literally, like... Listen, I work third shift, and it's like, you get out of work and you don't... You just, like, I just, you know, I'm fucking tired, so I just sleep, and you don't get to do shit. You know what I mean? So... knowing that there's people out there that like literally just go to work, do just what they have to, the bare minimum what they have to, and then get out of work and do as much as they want to, that's fine. That's life. Nobody wants to like work 100% at their job. If you do, you're a fucking weirdo. Or you have a good job.
About as some kind of workplace epidemic. Loud layoffs.
We don't
even
get
put
paid
in a
enough to care
title
that much.
that I guess we can make festive.
Massive layoffs caused by rich weirdos.
So, there are a lot of problems with corporations and rich people. No, it's true. I feel like we might have touched on some of those in the last few hundred episodes we've done, but in terms of news stories we sort of skipped over, 2022 has seen a surprising amount of massive firings, specifically due to obviously bad decisions being made by the very few at the top. You know the few. They can be easily spotted by their bad haircuts and replica video game firearms and jokes about what they identify as. Elon Musk,
Yep.
comes to mind. I'm not gonna dive into the whole Twitter...
What a loser. He has like a fucking... Elon Musk keeps a toy gun from a video game. And is that a cyberpunk gun? What is that?
situation, mainly
So
because
goofy,
we already
man.
covered some of it and will absolutely be covering it more in the future. But holy smoky moly, the Muskster has whipped out almost every single shitty boss trope, then slapped it on his leg and promised us a horse if we kept quiet. Musk fired pretty much everyone who knew how to run the site, totaling to nearly half the staff, right before the holidays. And instead of trying even a little to understand the website he bought, this gold-plated dildo has even publicly fired and mocked
A gold-plated dildo. That's a good insult.
programmers for
That's a
correcting
great
his
one.
ignorance. He's literally all the tropes. Everything from Michael Scott to Mr. Burns. And because of his very unwise and bad decisions, he's opened himself up to massive legal problems and even more money loss. All while being just the most sad and transparent poster of all time. To speak in the language Elon can understand, every tweet he makes is this meme. He'll post about how great Twitter is
literally,
doing
yep.
the same day the news is reporting about Tesla's plummeting stock, or all the lost ad revenue, or employees being begged to return back because no one knows how to work the back end stuff. So, yeah, amazing stuff. Bravo. There's so much more Musk to talk about, but unfortunately, Elon isn't the only alien out there making terrible and obvious mistakes that we simply must cover. We, of course, can't forget King Alien.
I want to say, up front, that I take full responsibility.
Bro, he looks like a fucking xenomorph, dude. He looks like the AI robots from like Alien, from the Alien movie, dude. Look at his skin, it's so white. Pasty and shit.
For this decision.
He got
I'm the
pasty cake
founder and
skin.
CEO. I'm responsible for the health of our company.
He got sweet roll
our
glazing
direction,
skin.
And for
You know
for
the glazing
deciding
from the sweet rolls in
how we
Skyrim?
execute that,
Oh
including
god.
things like this, and this was ultimately my call.
Well, shucks, that was actually kind of human of him. Has Elon actually surpassed Mark Zuckerberg as the most out-of-touch man? This Cody thinks so. Not nearly as egregiously dipshitted as what's happening at Twitter, the company formerly Facebook is finally circling the drain. This has resulted in over 11,000 people losing their jobs to start, which is pretty gosh dang wild.
Wow.
And while Zucks is far less of a dick about it than Elon, I would argue that the hubris is all the same. And while that job loss is extremely sad, I'm certainly not upset about Facebook as an entity going down. See video, pivot to.
Yeah, fuck Facebook,
and going
dude.
back to the hubris, one of the reasons
Follow
that
me on Facebook, but no
Meta-
one else.
Just Facebook lost so much money is because Mark bet big on the concept of the VR metaverse. Just this year, they lost $9.4 billion on it alone.
Oh my god. 9.4 billion, dude. Like, Meta is either a money laundering scheme or they're the dumbest motherfuckers ever. Either Meta in the future is going to get caught with money laundering because they lost $9 billion, or they're literally the dumbest people. Like, Zuckerberg's just so dumb. I don't know why you would go with VR. Like, VR is just not there yet.
Probably had something to do
VR
with
is not
it
there
being
yet.
Obviously bad idea that anyone could have predicted would fail,
And how is it
like
not
how
there
we
yet with
predicted
9 billion? Like,
anyone being me, for one.
Oh my
is what
God.
I mean. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. And so, I don't know, Mark, maybe you should pay me to
These
tell you when
billionaires,
you
they're like
suck or
literally
something.
failures.
I charge $800 an hour.
all of these billionaires are failures. I don't know why people look at them like they're Iron Man, or like they're gonna save the world. Like, they're the dumbest motherfuckers in the entire universe. They just have a lot of money, and a lot of people like them because they have money, and that's why they write nice things about them. Like, they're not that smart.
And so we're seeing how a single bad idea pushed by a single rich guy can have resounding consequences. Not to mention how far the bubble of tech culture is from what everyday people actually want. Had any executive simply walked outside and asked someone if they would pay a lot of money for, like, digital VR
Yeah, like digital
they would
Nike
say
shoes.
no. You know, the same way they would say no if you asked them if they would pay for an NFT or a blue check mark.
Hey, chat, you guys want to buy a digital Nike shoe for your metaverse person? Let me know.
Because of this oblivious miscalculation.
I don't think anybody
the
wants
entire
that.
company
Literally,
is
like
crashing down. I don't know, man. Maybe
like we already have
maybe we shouldn't have
microtransaction
an
in
industry
games.
where when
You know what I
one
mean? Like we
company
already buy
changes
shit
their
in
code a
games,
little bit, another
cosmetics and
company
stuff. Like
loses
why would you
$10
want that
billion? Maybe when you have these
for a VR workspace, like where you work and like what? I just don't know what they're doing.
massive tech monopolies
I don't get
run
it.
by a single all-powerful billionaire, it's like
Makes no
bad.
sense.
This feudal tech economy is one of those things that history will see as an obvious mistake. And speaking of, Amazon also did some massive layoffs. I guess to follow the trend, to stay hip.
Woo,
There's also
Amazon.
a non-tech story about a shoe manufacturer that had to lay off 142 workers after Adidas cut ties.
We
with
love
Kanye
Amazon
West.
here.
Because of the anti-Semitism. It just feels like a pretty terrifying pattern when hundreds to thousands of jobs are at the whim of these very unstable and very rich.
Yeah, look at these two. Look at these two. Hey, hey Kanye. What do you think about those other people?
There's a lot of things that I love about Hitler.
Why?
A lot of things.
Why are you saying that, Kanye? It makes no sense. That makes no sense. I don't get
But
why.
they did good things too. We're gonna stop dissing the Nazis all the time.
Are you sure about that, man? I don't know, dude.
Individuals like Kanye and Musk.
I don't
who
know
are
about
clearly
that.
making bad, emotional, and self-destructive decisions.
I think the Nazis would have killed the fuck out of Kanye West. I'm just saying. They would have murdered him.
And it's absolutely fucking wild.
They would have
Illegal
or enslaved
clutch
him.
pearls
Better
about
that.
Quiet quitting. At the same time, workers are expected to twist in the wind like this. Seems like we need to have a big and frank conversation about unions in tech. Also, I don't know, it almost feels like, this is weird to say, but I'm really starting to think that rich people are kind of bad.
Yeah, rich people are very bad.
I'm a force ghost. Yeah, fine. What is it?
Very
More
bad.
cum jokes? Are you Darth Cum or something?
Yeah, Darth Cum.
For I am the ghost of Christmas long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Hey.
I'm here because you have lost your way by besmirching the kindly.
A Jedi ghost.
That's as bad as the N-word, you know.
Well, I have always wanted to be a Padawan. Wait, as bad as the
The
N-word?
N-word?
Okay, first of all, no. And secondly, you're a Jedi from Star Wars, but are also in favor of the ultra-rich? That doesn't really scan for me.
Well, I was sold to Disney for $4 billion.
Wow.
Anyway, you're very hard on the poor, poor wealthy. What about Mark Cuban and all that
Mark
pharmacy
Cuban?
stuff? That is a rich person going out of their way to help dirty, non-rich people.
Man, you really hate poor people. But okay, sure, that's a good thing that Cuban is doing. Or rather, it's a thing
Okay, that's cool.
resulting in good things. And we have not covered it yet. Except I can't help but to be bothered about how my good friend Mark Cuban is making money off of a fundamental flaw in our healthcare system.
Yeah.
You know, something that the government should have...
I'm pretty sure Mark Cuban's not helping people like out of the kindness of his heart. I'm pretty sure he's doing something that seems like it's helping, but I'm sure he's making money out of it.
stepped in to regulate years ago. It reminds me of companies like Walmart and then Amazon later on, who took advantage of retail deserts and in turn ensured that no small business could ever compete. They were a solution that guaranteed that the problem would never go away. And so by doing this, Cuban might be ensuring that the government won't feel the need to be involved in drug prices and possibly make the problem worse in the long run. I don't know, it's still good, and prescription drugs are not the same as retail goods, but we've just seen this pattern a lot. Markets that grow into big sloppy monsters get undercut for the good of the people, but then that new revolutionary system ultimately trashes the entire industry. The music and film industries were certainly not victims when Napster and Pirate Bay came along, and so when streaming services like Netflix showed up, it seemed like a really great solution, but over time, this model made
Netflix
it
sucks.
impossible to make money at all, and a lot of products and
Netflix
jobs got
whack,
lost
man.
along the way. So while I'm not like a business lord, it just feels like the solution to unchecked capitalism shouldn't be more capitalism.
Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't listening because I was trying to think of obligatory silly Star Wars universe names.
That's fine. This is all fine. You want to list them for me?
Guggen's Cum. That's the only one I thought of.
Guggen's
Salacious
cum.
cum is right there. Okay, folks, I sure hope we're wrapping up here. We just have one last subject to cover, so that means it's the home stretch. How bad could it be? We already hit our low point with all the climate doomsaying, so by rule of structure, this will be something fun to bring the year to an end, and I'll still have time to get to the airport for a dramatic finish. Okay, let's lube up our brains and blast through this final
Lube up our
section
brain.
about U.S. politics.
Oh, American politics! Yay!
Nope, don't you dare pull that festive shit with me. I feel like I'm gonna cry. I just want to go to St. Cloud, Minnesota. Is that too much to ask? What have I done wrong here? Okay. Fuck, shit, wads. Let's do this. Could I at least get some kind of fun video to boost my mood during these troubling times? Oh God, yes, thank you, boy.
Damn,
Some
they threw a
people,
whole
right?
bottle at
Can
Ted
you
Cruz.
believe it? That Ted Cruz, a politician,
Yo,
would be
they should throw
attacked.
more
Sorry,
shit at
I
him,
can't
man.
even pretend to be empathetic. The man openly celebrated it when Elon Musk laid off thousands of people. A U.S. senator
Throw more
posting a
stuff at Ted
cry laugh
Cruz.
emoji as a response to Americans losing their jobs, because I guess he thinks some of them are libs or whatever, and that working at a fast food place is bad or worthy of mockery. And that's just like the most recent example of him being a tremendous creep. I'm genuinely surprised people aren't hurling beer cans at him every second of the
Yeah,
day.
they should throw more
I'm
shit,
not
dude.
advocating for violence.
Throw
But
shit
when
balls
powerful
at him.
people are openly mocking the working class while making policies designed
Dried
to
shit
fuck them over,
pellets.
I'm not sure how we can act shocked or outraged when they're chased from public events. But I really am not advocating for violence. Not just for, legal reasons, but because it isn't good. And also, not necessary, apparently, because hey, you see those midterms? For context, historically speaking, whatever party the current president belongs to often does very poorly during the midterms. Without looking up why, my guess is that most centrists are silly little contrarians who automatically see whoever's in power as the reason for all of their problems. That isn't to say Joe Biden is good or fun or isn't filled with old man farts. But it's
Old
really
man
telling,
farts.
then, that this year's midterm barely helped the Republicans. In the face of 42% approval rating, Joe Biden, America's plain yogurt, the GOP still somehow shit their plantation-style bed. And while this is being framed as a good result for the Democrats, I would argue it's more accurately a really
Their
bad
plantation
result for
style
Republicans.
beds.
Because again, Joe Biden, an undressed salad of
That's a
man
burn.
with his 42% approval rating. Regardless of what you think about the guy, he's not very popular, which means the GOP, who doubled and tripled
Yeah, Joe Biden is like stale bread. Joe Biden's like stale bread that you left out for like 2 weeks.
down on religious extremist bullshit,
Oh my
like attacking
God.
LGBTQ people and banning abortion.
How did the Republicans
got
lose to
absolutely
that?
Bodied despite Biden. Remember Blake Masters? No, you don't. Sarah Palin? Never heard of her. Carrie Lake? More like Carrie Fake. Dr. Oz? Yeah, of course he lost. Interesting pattern. How so many Trump-backed candidates ate the dirt. Also interesting that progressive...
Yeah, I'm from PA, and I'm glad like we elected John Fetterman, because Dr. Oz was just trash. And then Shapiro won too, which is really good.
Candidates backed by people like Bernard Sanders did very
Woo,
well.
Bernie!
Equally interesting that in every place where abortion was on the ballot, voters fought and won to protect that right. It's almost like, and just stick with me here, but it's almost like the religious fundamentalism being pushed by the MAGA GOP is not popular. And now all the conservatives and conservative grifters are hilariously
Nah, people are tired of
dumbfounded
MAGA
as to why
chuds.
that is. Ben Shapiro, America's special little beard grower, attributed the loss to, quote, Republicans' lack of seriousness, saying that if Republicans get serious and drop the frivolous bull bleep, 2024 could
Oh
look
my
very
God.
different. I assume the bleep is for the word cum. Lots of cum jokes on this holiday episode.
Lots
Too
of
many,
cum.
one could say.
Cum
But
everywhere.
Before you think he finally became self-aware, Ben then hastily added, and this is just delightful.
They did talk about a lot of cum on this
isn't
episode.
Frivolous bull cum, by the way. It's key. So close, Ben. Absolutely incredible to watch someone trip on their untied shoes and then conclude the solution is longer and looser laces. After all, if Ben actually explored the real problem with his party, he would be forced to look in the mirror, shut down his entire little network,
Yeah, his party's
shave that new
anti-Semitic.
beard, and walk into the ocean. This
And
is why probably the most
homophobic and
honest reaction to the
transphobic.
midterms has to come from Nick
They're anti-education.
Kanye 2024 Fuentes.
But the point is, when you look at these things like abortion, it's popular. People like abortion, hate it, but it's true. And you can thank the Jewish media for that. Abortion's popular, sodomy's popular, you know, being gay is popular, being a feminist is popular.
Oh my God.
Sex out of wedlock is popular. Contraceptives are, it's all popular.
Hey,
That's all. That's not to say it's good. That's not to say I like that. Popular.
Hey, Ye, what do you have to say about this? What do you have to say about these people's beliefs?
There's a lot of things that I love about Hitler. A lot of things.
Yeah, you sure about that, Ye? I mean, people are not gonna like that. I don't know why you would say that. You know, that's kind of.
But he did good things too. We're gonna stop dissing the Nazis all the time.
Really?
What means the people support.
I don't agree with him, guys. He's crazy.
Which they do. And,
He's crazy.
And it sucks, and it is what it is, but that's why we need dictatorship. That's unironically why we need to get rid of all that.
Thing is, he's right. Rephrase. He's horrifying,
Kanye's
and racist,
nuts.
and a Nazi, and has a silly little face and bad hair. And come on, dude, you don't even like sodomy? Come on. But he is right that the GOP don't have popular ideas. They are not the silent majority. His solution to this is, of course, up. Because what his little Nazi chestnut can't understand is that the popular things he's identifying as bad in America aren't, that. But what I think really hits a nerve with this video is that it's starting to seem like the GOP are subconsciously or consciously mulling over what he is saying about wanting to be a dictatorship. It's why they go after the media and voting.
Yeah,
and
this
social
guy,
media. In
Nick
all those
Fuentes.
cases, they are attacking the vessel.
This guy, Nick Fuentes, literally ate his own boogers on stream. Let me see if I can find that, actually. I want to find Nick Fuentes eating his own boogers. Nick Fuentes. Let me see. That's not my YouTube. It's not what I want, guys. Let me see. There's a video somewhere out there of Nick Fuentes eating boogers. It's somewhere out there. Look at this. Oh, look at that, dude. Ew, he's like nibbling.
Like every person in my family, when I came back for Thanksgiving, on both sides of my family were like, "Am I getting a bloody?" Oh no!
Ew!
No.
Ew! He got a bloody booger, dude. What the fuck? And he ate it. That's so gross, man. There should be other videos out there of him eating boogers. He's literally a booger eating Nazi, guys. Like, it's... Yeah.
Guys, I am so excited. It's got an i7. I haven't heard it.
He is so gross, man. And he's never had a girlfriend either.
Why? I mean, why?
I mean, I'll give you an example. A very good friend of mine who I've known for about 10 years used to be... yes, probably. Yes, probably.
Why? I mean, why?
I mean, I'll give you an example. A very good friend of mine who I've known for about 10 years used to be very much like you, actually. And he, you know, he's someone who used to really, really prop up authoritarianism. He used to, and he still believes this in part, that people do need to be governed to a large extent because people, you know, left alone are morons. And that's not saying necessarily that I even disagree with. I think your average person is probably as dumb as a bag of rocks. However, he moved to Singapore, which you could argue is not the worst place in the world. Obviously, it's quite clean. People, follow the law. The crime rate is reasonably low. But after about 2 years of living in Singapore, where they knock on your door, and this has happened to him, where he got dobbed in by his neighbors for having water on his balcony, and they said it's causing a mosquito problem. Now we're at your house, prepared to fine you over mosquitoes. He said to me, I hate living in this country. I hate the authoritarian.
That's pretty cool that they fine you over. I mean, if you think about it, if you get fined over having water, that's fine. Because mosquitoes cause disease. They cause a bunch of other issues, malaria. You don't want to add that.
Here and hate the way things operate. Because coming from Australia, he's an Aussie, he was like, I much prefer the way that we do things back home, or at least, the freedom that we have. And living in a country where that's staunched in some capacity was really, and is, and continues to be very bothersome and trying for him. And so I just find it interesting, though, that you've only ever lived in the United States. I just, you can only do so much reading before practical experience actually should take, some sort of precedence. And I mean, I say the same thing about women, too. I mean, I dare say, from my understanding of many of your viewpoints, you also promote like the way of interacting with women.
This lady sucks. None of y'all should like her. She
so
sucks.
how are you telling other people how to behave?
Both of these people suck. But the guy on the left sucks. Boogers and
or in fact,
femboys,
uphold
which is fine.
In a way that treats
not the
them
booger part, but the femboys okay.
You're out here arguing that women are basically half the value of. Well, I'm not going to put words in your mouth, in fact, because that's not right. But if you are looking to some other regimes around the world that do think that
Nick Fuentes thinks women are like less valuable than men and shit. It's really weird.
Or half the value of a man, I have to question what kind of a person who's had no experience with women is in a position to basically promote these ideas.
Well, I'm having an experience with a woman right now.
Oh, what a sick burn! I don't have an experience with women right now. Women are bitches. What a dork, man.
And I've had lots of experiences with women in my life, not romantically per se, but. I've talked to enough women.
What a loser.
I've known enough women to know sort of what's going on. I think any man who is observant enough, and honestly, like I said, we could go back to great geniuses. We could go back to.
What a loser, bro. So sad. Anyways, let's get away from this Nick Fuentes shit. He sucks. Let's finish.
Information and democracy travels.
Let's finish the stream up.
Is the only hope they have for actually winning in the long term. I mean, holy smokes, look no further than Elon Musk's hostile takeover of Twitter that has now resulted in him unbanning countless right-wing ghouls and welcoming transphobia with open arms. Dude had to spend billions to buy social media because his ideas were unpopular and bad, shaping it into his own little 4chan where a handful of weird fans line up to tell him how smart he is. As an aside, it is very funny to see people call Musk the new Trump as if he's someone the right will all get behind. Considering that Trump proved to be a hollow con artist who didn't live up to any promise and is now seeing some justice maybe for his many crimes.
Yeah, Elon Musk is definitely the new Trump.
From one sinking ship to another,
he sucks.
Never stopping to reflect on their poor sailing skills.
I feel bad for you if you have Tesla stocks.
Really seems to be over, at least for Trump. And now we're finally seeing
you're definitely effed if you have Tesla stocks.
The most embarrassing of
That's
Trump
a GG.
fans like Scott Adams have begun to disavow their leader long after everyone else. Even Mike Hang Me Daddy Pence is admitting that Trump is perhaps not so swell. As of writing this, Trump
he's
is
not
currently fighting the January 6th hearings, and
he's
a bunch
not
of
so
other
swell.
legal problems, and his organization was now found guilty of 17 charges of fraud. It's weird, but I don't even feel like I need to cover him that much. He announced his 2024 run to the most lukewarm of responses. Dude is old.
Trump literally fucking did some NFT shit recently. He's trying to scam his audience again. He doesn't care about his people. He just doesn't.
Yesterday's come, to speak holiday for a second. And what's left of his support is also sad and weird and desperate. All these once popular names devolved into sweaty right-wing nobodies, all hanging out and tweeting at each other and beefing and desperately clinging onto their bad ideas. But somewhere deep inside, they all must know that the country is moving on from their stale-ass rhetoric.
Yeah,
and while
stale
it's
as
not
fuck.
exactly fresh, Biden is at least chugging along as best as a dude who kind of sucks can.
Yeah, that's
Using a
true.
historic number
Biden
of
does suck.
judges,
I'm not gonna
he's
lie.
Mostly kind of performatively chopping
He's not a
away at weed
leftist.
criminalization, although still has
He's
a
a
long
centrist.
way to go there, specifically when it comes to migrant offenses.
He hasn't even
That can be
legalized
said for a lot
marijuana
of
yet,
what
man. That's what
Biden's
I'm waiting
done
for. I want to
far.
smoke some
The
weed on
Inflation
here.
Reduction Act cut costs for healthcare, but not enough. It's also
Wink,
going
wink,
to tackle
in
climate
Minecraft.
change, but of course there's much more to do. I'm not here to jerk off Joe Biden, as hot as that would be to some of you freaks, but there is definitely a clear contrast between Biden keeping his eyes on the prize and the GOP detonating in a fury of red-faced straw grasping. To be very clear, I'm not saying that they aren't dangerous. In fact, if there's any theme of this episode, it's
This video's
pressure.
almost done, guys. We're almost
People
done.
under pressure. People who lost, who are hitting tipping points, out of work, sick with long COVID, who are overwhelmed and just want to go to St. Cloud. And how those
Yeah.
people are extremely unpredictable. And looking back at 2022, it's very possible that this past year is a prelude to some
I love Cody
extremely
Johnston.
sinister events
This
resulting
guy's
from
great.
this desperation. Because the final lifeline
You
of
guys
the
should check out
MAGA
some more
GOP
news
could very well be
on your own
what
time.
Fuentes describes. But the only way to fight that, besides being prepared and materially improving people's lives, is to not let us get sucked down into their sad little spiral. The reason their hate is stale is because love and friendship and sodomy, well, that
Sodomy.
stuff never gets old. It's what the holidays are about. Sodomy, at least.
I wanna
And that
get
means
sodomy
to
right now. I
celebrate
want-
and focus on the things that are good. You know, the things
I can
we
go
love.
for some sodomy.
Things like, ooh, it's me, a ghost. Hey, hi, sure, welcome. This is great. Why is your face blue? What is your deal? Tell me everything. I'm the ghost of Christmas, December 17th, 2009, and I'm here to tell you how pumped I am for the movie Avatar.
Oh my
all right, I
God,
guess
Avatar
we're
again.
doing Avatar stuff after all. Yeah, that movie was
Sodomy's
fine.
great.
I'm
Oh,
sure
y'all some
you've seen it
losers.
like 100 times by now. What with being in
Y'all
2022.
some squares and losers if you don't like
Wow,
sodomy.
How many sequels have they made? Just one, but it looks yeah, I guess it looks pretty good. Now that you mention it, I am kind of excited. It's James Cameron after all. The guy can't lose. Yeah, you're right. James Cameron has never really had a miss. That's kind of incredible now that you mention it. Like a miracle even. I'm so fucking pumped for Avatar.
Oh my
You know,
God.
Maybe it's your energy, but I think I'm kind of pumped for this new Avatar too. Really? Yeah, kinda. Sure.
Yay!
Uh,
You did it, Cody.
You were here this whole time?
Yeah, I was hiding under your sink, and I am so happy that you
Mhm.
figured out the true meaning of Christmas.
Wait. Avatar?
I don't know, sure. I'm on so much fear gas. I ate all your sponges.
Who are you, Wormbo? Ah.
Warmbo.
Avatar, anything can happen.
You're right. You know, 2022 hasn't been the best year, but it also wasn't the worst. We've suffered a lot of trauma, and so it's hard to imagine things getting better. So stuff like the midterms or any other
Goddamn
slightly good
Warmbo.
progress being made just feels like we're waiting for the other shoe to drop. Nobody wants to say that Trump and Trumpism are definitely on their way out because we just don't know. It's hard to say COVID is over when again, we just don't
know.
And so we expect the worst. Just like we expect the new Avatar: The Way of Water to be bad. But maybe this time of year isn't about cynicism. It's about hoping for the best. And while we need to be realistic, there's nothing wrong with hoping for and even expecting good things to happen. So happy Avatar days, everyone!
Yay.
Avatar: The Way of Water, now in theaters in 13 years. Now in
13
theaters.
years.
Avatar bless us, everyone.
I am also here too, from the Marvel episode we did. Avatar: The Way of Water will be the biggest hit of the decade.
Wow.
But we do not care.
Hey, good to see you, person. Oh, and it's you, that guy, also in that Marvel thing we
Glowy
did. What
guy.
Tickle Man? You're all here for me.
Glowy man.
All of the random bullshit.
I'll suck your toes.
You're so right. Praise him. Praise Avatar.
I'll suck your toes.
Praise Avatar. And also with you.
Hey, that was fun. Hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. Remember, hit a like and subscribe on YouTube. You know, follow on Twitch. And hit the bell button and stay tuned for next time.